what the paper is reporting, that they got funding. They were able to get funding up to 1 billion naira, and this was traced uh, from Timipre Silva. They were able to get almost 1 billion naira in multiple tranches to three separate bank accounts operated by a bureau de change operator, right? And with that money, they were able to get a lot of things, right? That um, there were some things that were discovered by the military. Okay, they said sources confirmed that investigators recovered two gun trucks, anti anti-aircraft guns, PKT guns, RPG bombs, AK-47 rifles, ammunition and tactical gear from a lieutenant colonel attached to the Army's 130 Battalion. In addition to the weapons and ammunition traced to the suspects, investigators seized four Toyota Hilux trucks, one Toyota Prado SUV, two Toyota saloon cars, and 32 Volkswagen Golf vehicles allegedly procured for covert operations. So with the money they were able to get allegedly from through Timipre Silva, that the money was paid in three trenches through a bureau de change operator, you're able to get weapons, you're able to get vehicles and all that, you know, to now plan this. And that the plan had gotten to an advanced stage, right? And they were contemplating a tentative date where they will carry out this attack. The attack was to take place simultaneously across different spots, Aso Villa and all that in Abuja and all of that. You know, when in late September, there was an officer, an unnamed military officer. The unnamed military officer was the one that now informed the then army chief. The chief of army staff then was Olufemi Oluyide. There was an army officer who knew of the coup that now approached Olufemi Oluyide, who was chief of army staff at the time, to tell him that this is what is going on, that he decides to disclose this so that he will not be arrested when, if let's say the coup plotters are arrested, he will not be charged for treason. So information got to the chief of defense, chief of army staff at the time, right? And even before this, that the head of DSS, Oluwatosin Ajayi, through DSS already gotten some information that some military officers were plotting something, right? So, and Oluwatosin Ajayi met with the army chief to say, we are getting information that army officers were planning something, whereas the chief of army staff had already gotten some information. So with all those information in place, they now decide to quickly carry out an operation. This time, when they decide to carry out an operation to arrest those that were involved, the president was not aware at the time. He said 30th of September, the president had traveled to Imo State for a function. The chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa, was not aware, and even the DNI, the chief of defense intelligence, was also not aware at that point, right? So it was the SSS, the DSS, Department of State Security, and the Nigerian Army that now carried out covert operations to arrest the officers that were involved in the plot from different parts of the country. It's after those arrests have been made that they now informed the chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa, and the defense intelligence was also informed, and they now informed the president about what took place. The president was so shaken by it, and the ordered that a special investigative panel should be constituted, which was headed by General Udoidenye, who was the head of defense intelligence. And from that panel, they were able to get other people arrested that were involved in this in this plot, you know. So and that's how the whole thing unraveled. So the point is this: if they are telling us that the 2025 was just a revival, that the plans had been in motion in 2023, so the question now arises is who gave the initial impetus, the initial stimulus, who the originator of this idea, and who were those who may have instigated these military officers back when Buhari was president to them plotting something to prevent the handing over of Buhari to Tinubu, who could have been desperate enough to do this, and that is important. Now,